Welcome, everybody. It is Earth Day, I think. It's Tai Chi Day, Qigong Day. It's a whole lot of days. It is Wisdom Keys with myself, Brother Francis. And today's date, of course, is April the 22nd, 2021. My topic for today is dreaming for success. Now, I've kind of talked about this maybe a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, I had something called Dream Your Life and Living on Purpose. That was maybe 3, 4 weeks ago. So it was apropos to come up with Dreaming for Success today. And the reason for that, excuse me, would be that we all have dreams. We dream all the time. Or sometimes we dream and we don't exactly remember our dreams. Maybe because we're stressed out. Maybe we're not feeling well. Perhaps we have something else going on in our lives that kind of gets in the way in the process of us wanting to have a dream or a good dream or a series of good dreams. And so often we have to decide to have a dream. Now, the higher conscious self of us, connected to the universe, the soul aspect, the spirit, whatever we want to call it, that is this ongoing process of divine expression in ourselves, is always dreaming and always envisioning. And we're like different components in the universal soup. So when we're dreaming, sometimes we can experience traumatic dreams that are nightmares, dreams that seem to take us nowhere but around and around in a circle, dreams that are repetitive. Then we have the precognitive dreams, or we like to call it in the quote unquote psychic or spiritual or metaphysical world, the dream that lets you know what you know, what you know. We call it more of a prophetic dream, or at least I do. And so sometimes we're having these dreams and they're taking a great effect on our lives. They're impacting our lives in different ways. And often when we are dreaming, it's an opportunity to work some things out that we couldn't work out during the day. Now, there's another kind of dream where you become consciously aware that while you are asleep, that you are having a dream. And that's called lucid, Lucid, lucid dreaming. So all these things have their different um, parts of our awareness, being consciously aware of these different experiences while we are asleep. Now, another side of this is that we could learn how to use the dream, but we have to first learn how to control what we see going on in the dream. And again, that's when you become lucid. You become consciously aware that you are in a dream. You are in the dream world. You can look back and you can see your body sleeping. So it's sort of like being out of the body at the same time and seeing these things that are revolving around us, and we are like the sun and the planets, the dreams, the thoughts, the ideas, or the feelings, the sensations are moving around us. So once we can put ourselves in a position to be able to control what we see in the dream and the outcome, especially when we know we're in the dream, it's like what I like to call the dream body. It's just like you're in your waking state body. You don't see yourself unless you have a reflection of yourself in a mirror. Or like now, I can see myself reflected here because the camera is on me. So it's picking up everything. Therefore, I can see myself, move my hands, move my lips, blink my eyes, move my head. So it's the same when you're in the dream world and you're in what I call your dream body. And here you're having this experience, this opportunity to make changes. There are other ways to invite new dreams, or what we might think are new dreams, into our life. And that is to constantly tell ourselves over and over and over again in our waking state that we shall dream, and we'll have a good dream, and we'll understand the dream. We'll be able to understand all the component parts, all the personalities, all the symbolisms, and all the correspondences that the symbolisms make for us to speak the language of our dreams and to understand it. We get to some point where now that we can control the dream and we know what's going on with the dream, and we're physically active or spiritually active in the dream, now we can turn it around so we can become successful in our waking state. Often we have to replay the imagery that we see enough times so we could understand it, control it, and manipulate it. So in the process of manipulating it, we can change the outcome. These things have happened through high intelligence agencies in the military that have gotten into these things, have gone into the past, what they call the timelines of history, and okay, see how the timelines were in the past and change them from the past so they get a different outcome coming up in the so-called future or the present tense. They got that all from going in the mind, going in the dream world, investigating the dream world, and realize, okay, everything you see in a dream doesn't have to be real. It can be it can be you just regurgitating a whole bunch of other things that you experienced in your waking state. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this in, because I wanted to bring something from one of my favorite past teachers. I never had a chance to meet him in person, but I did along with my late mother. We used to listen to him on radio when I was a child, when I would be quote unquote sick at home with asthma. And my mother would listen to her gospels and in the morning, and then at about 11 a.m. in the morning or 1 p.m. in the afternoon, here would come from Boston, Massachusetts, Reverend Ike, right? Reverend Ike and Crota. And he was the person that took himself out of the um, evangelism community and placed himself into the New Thought communities. He followed the teachings of Neville Goddard and so many other people, Ernest Holmes. He got all of that together in his mind and flipped the switch. And he began to experience prosperity and abundance, breaking old habits, old thoughts, old thought patterns, old emotional responses. He began to break that down. When he was able to conquer it, then he was able to turn around as well as begin to teach the people who became his followers, his students. So there's something from his book. Everybody that's ever belonged to his organization has this same book. It hasn't changed. It has never been revised that much. And his chapter is 11. Now, it's interesting. Today, the 22nd day of April, this day is a master number in numerology. It's a day of being able to make your dreams concrete, to materialize them so that you can see them physically before your eyes. This is chapter 11, which is called From Possibility Path to Reality Road. Now, he would teach these sermons 52 Sundays out of the year. They go through the same thing over and over till they get a clearer and clearer understanding. So I'm not going to use the biblical passages. I'm just going to use what he calls a science of living principle. which says, when you believe in the presence of God within you, God could be the universe within you, the God mind, the Father, Mother God, the Divine Mother's presence. When you believe in that presence within you, then he says you become God in action. So that's the first step. So when you're dreaming for success, while you're, in order to build yourself into the mindset of being successful, you have to know that there's the presence of the consciousness, universal consciousness, that is around you, that could flow into your life and using you as the vessel to express itself into your life. Not just your life, but other people's lives. So dreaming for success is our opportunity to open up to the divine resources and processes that can assist us to see the divinity within ourselves expressed. Now, I was kind of, as I'm working on my homework that Barbara gave me, and it has me thinking now. I've been doing things a certain way, and because I come to a point where I don't see it, spill over sometimes, so I have to reorient my thinking. I have the dream, I have the vision, but are there some other steps I should leave out and place some other steps in place? And it's sort of like this. There's the possibility paths of what my dream could be, but what is the reality of the road? What am I doing while I'm on the road? And he says right here, when you believe in the presence. So if I believe that what I'm about to achieve already exists, then what? I'll be able to see it in action, right, through myself. Now, what is interesting, I'm going to jump to some other points here. He says possibilities are no good until they are made into reality by faith and action. I used to remember all these multi-level marketing businesses I used to be a part of way back in the 80s. And they all used an emotional word. You got to take massive action. Massive. Well, those words, massive, would open up your brain and you start seeing all these different things that you could do. However, if you didn't believe that you could do it, it just became a mind full of junk thoughts, I would call them, because you couldn't move through the junk because you had no faith that you could remove the junk. You didn't know that your thoughts were junk. You didn't know that you were caught up in a web. You didn't know that you couldn't see your way clear. You didn't know that you couldn't feel your way clear. So sometimes we have to look at, there's going to be some different ways to achieve. He says, where there is no vision, people perish. That's something that Dr. Martin Luther King used to say all the time in his speeches. It was from the Bible, Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18. Dr. Martin Luther King would always say, where there is no vision, people perish. Perish means you die off, you fall off, you waste away. It's like you have foods that are perishables, right? You go to the supermarket and we buy certain foods. Doesn't matter which market we go to. The important thing, if it's a perishable item, means that as soon as you take it off the shelf, time is ticking. Like a garden. As soon as you release the fruit or the vegetable from its root, from its stem, it begins to perish. Just like if you buy a car, or better yet, a car or a stereo. What do they always tell you? If you lost your stuff in a fire, they said, well, we got to give it to you at cost now. Meaning, basically you use the item. So the minute you brought it off the lot, it became what? Depreciating. Same thing, was perishable. It starts losing its value. So we ourselves are finding ways to do what? Increase our value, increase the love in ourselves, can increase the knowledge in ourselves, increase the wisdom that we attain, the understanding that we get, right? So in order to dream for success, we have a lot of house cleaning we have to do. Then he would say, with unborn possibilities, he said, unlimited possibilities are seeking birth through the mind of us or man. I have a friend back east that follows his teachings. I had the pleasure of meeting him, and they came up with a phrase that was called uncommon possibilities. Uncommon possibilities. When we're dreaming for success, we can't always use the common thing. We have to find the uncommon thing, something that a route that no one took before. Sometimes people can take the same routes over and over, and sometimes the routes can work from person to person, especially if it's a proven formula. But what if you don't have those connections? How do you dream for success? How can you become successful at dreaming and then become a success through the dream process? Where you can dream enough where the dream becomes what? Lucid to you, then you can begin to change the outcome. In other words, you become empowered, self-empowered to make the change. Well, when you could develop when you could attract uncommon possibilities, what is a if something is possible, that means it's you are able to what? Possess it, to have it in your sphere of consciousness, to own it. But it's not common, it's not regular, it's beyond, it's what? Extraordinary. It's extraordinary because you're not using something. You could use, hey, we can all wear the same clothes, colors, hats, you name it, shoes. Men can wear the same shoes. But what makes the person look different as opposed to the next person that's wearing the same outfit? It's their personality, it's their confidence in themselves, it's the joy. And they're not just wearing it for themselves. Some people will wear it just for themselves. No, they wear it because they want you to be happy too. They want to share that light inside themselves with you. So it becomes the same thing. All things are possible to him who believes. They said that was the statement that Jesus made. All things are possible to him who believes. Well, you can go through life and go, okay, well, I believe this and that didn't work. I believe this, that didn't work. So you could say, in one essence, belief is a part of doubt. You're believing it because someone else told you, but you didn't experience it yourself yet. When you experience the things that you're talking about or the things that other people are talking about, then you don't have to believe it. You what? You have faith in it. Faith is what you know to be true. In other words, you've seen it in action over and over and over. There's no doubt in your mind that what you're about to do is going to work or not work. We all go through failures, but it's what we do with the failure. I remember listening to Les Brown, the motivator, as they call him, from Detroit, when he first uh, made a mark. And this is way back in the 1980s. He came all the way to Long Island because he was going to be talking he came out on a Friday, and he was going to be talking actually a Thursday night in Uniondale, Long Island, New York, at the Nassau Coliseum. That's where he was. And he was going to be in right next door in the Uniondale Marriott Hotel. And what he was saying that night, he said, you have to be hungry for your success. You got to taste success. You got to have it inside of you so that it is a part of you then you could begin to be like a mother and birth it onto the planet, birth it into the world, because you know it's your baby, it's your child. And he used to say many times, you have to be excited about it. Sometimes you could be humdrum because maybe you might be tired. But other times you gotta like boost yourself up. You have to pick yourself up. You've gotta like shake yourself. You gotta get excited about it. So excited that you can't wait to tell the person seated next to you. You can't wait to go out beyond the doors of where you live and begin to share the idea. But because you are who you are and you have your ups and downs, and we all do, you have to dream it into effect. And in this book, Reverend Ike was saying, your oneness with the infinite is your basis of power. So if you know that you're already connected to something far better than yourself, far higher energetically than yourself, then you're not going to lose the battle. You just got to get on board. He says, through the door and up the path. He says, if you believe in yourself and you set forth with positive thought and positive action, the doors of opportunity will swing open for you. That's what he said, reading from his book, chapter 11, From Possibility Path in Your Mind to Reality Road. He said, doors close in people's faces because of their attitudes more than anything else. So if we don't change our attitude, we don't see change. He says, when doors open, they open because of their attitudes. So that's the ability to sit back and see something differently. If we're not sitting back to see something differently or see it from a different angle, then there's a possibility that, yeah, we got the dream nugget, but we don't know how to open the box. So the box stays closed. He says, so you have to develop the proper attitude. Accept the possibility of the good which you desire. Affirm this to yourself. I accept the possibility of the good which I desire. He says an interesting thing happens once you accept an idea. Once you accept an idea in your mind and you open your mind to these right ideas, an inflow, that means an energy within of other correlating ideas begin to take place. Everything you need will begin to come to you, but you must first accept the possibility in your mind. You must what? You are able to possess this idea, to bring it into your mind. Then he says, though, in order to do it, you got to do it one step at a time. And as you're doing it one step at a time, he's talking about you got a map, right? He says sometimes that map that you have is not always firmly focused. It's not always letting you do everything you want to do, but it's there. The map is a guidepost. So you're able to check certain things off. Certain things may have taken you off course and brought you back on course. Maybe your map got simplified. There's a possibility, another possibility, another idea that came to you. Now, before I continue on with this, let me say that, every Monday, Resonant Essentials, the group, has from the UK, Audrey Wilson, who's talking about the whispering truths of mediumship. And then every Tuesday, you have Donna of Dominion Tarot at 9 a.m. on Mondays here in the United States Mountain Standard Time is when you get to see right here from the UK, Audrey Wilson. Then at 12 p.m. on Tuesdays, you get to witness the beautiful wisdom through the tarot with Donna of Dominion Tarot. So you get to have that experience here at Resonant Essentials. And of course, it's me, 12 p.m. every Thursday with the Wisdom Keys. And every Friday is the founder and owner and creator and originator of Resonant Essentials here in Albuquerque. And that is our wonderful, I call her, I salute her, my wonderful sister, Michelle Vidal. So be sure to tune in to when she comes on board, which is tomorrow at 12 p.m. with Swanda. Okay, so I just want to get that out there. There's all kind of classes going on all the time. So if you need to know what kind of classes are happening at Resident Essentials, get in touch with Michelle. Like if you happen to be in town on Saturday morning from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. every Saturday, I'm in there doing meditation, and it's how to align the silent part of you, to go into the silence, to connect with your higher self. And when you're in these classes long enough with me on a weekly basis, around 5, 6, 7, or 8, you get a chance to experience the great central sun vibration that I have a connection to, that I share with all of you. So, getting back to Reverend Ike's teaching here, in line with dreaming for success, he says there's a possibility, there's always a possibility. But the possibilities that come is, first, accept the idea, accept that you can change, accept that you can be successful on your path. Then the door opens up. All these other ideas that correlate to the one idea begin to flood your consciousness. It opens you up, right? You're the open door. It begins to flood your consciousness. And now you are stepping through the door. Now you open the door really wide. You step through the door onto this path, right? And now the path that you're on took you from the path of, as he says, the path of possibility into what? Reality road. Reality, ITY, means the condition, the state of mind of what's real, what's happening, what is being elevated through you, so that you can see it in front of you, see the treasure in front of you. That's what dreaming for success is. This is actually like a part two to several weeks ago when I was talking about when you have a dream, right? You get to the point where you're dreaming your life, because that's what it is. You want to dream for success. So you dream your life, you dream it up, and then what? You live it on purpose. But in order to live it on purpose, you got to get absolutely clear in your mind what it is that you're seeking, what it is you're trying to attain. Then you have to step forward. So everything that we're doing, we're working toward this new goal in ourselves. So here's a quick summary then. You got to not just believe in the self, you got to have faith in yourself. You have to change the attitude that you have. In other words, we got to get out of the opinionated mind and step into this universal mind. Not so much the world of humanity, but beyond. That there is something else that is leading us into a better position. I always used to think we are like kites in reverse. Our soul is higher up than we are, and it's pulling us through. The only thing is sometimes we're a little resistant. Why? Because we don't know where we're going. We cannot see clearly. But the soul of you can. The soul has saw these things over and over and over. So it knows where to take you and where to lead you. That's like in the movie, what was it, Bill Murray? And I think he did another one, but maybe it's the same movie. It was Groundhog Day. We're just doing something over and over and over. But eventually, he was this newscaster. Eventually, he figured it out. He realized, oh, I'm going to come out of the uh, hotel. I'm going to run into this guy who's going to try to sell me insurance. Or I'm going to see this woman, this beautiful woman who's trying to get my awareness. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And he realized, okay, he's being led. Now that he sees the same thing happening, he could change his what? Response. And then his day can run smoother. And then he could be used by the universe to assist the whole town. It's the same thing. We're asking for the universe to use us, to move us into a better position where we can see better, where we can hear better, smell better, taste better, touch better. We can live better. But we don't have to take on the weight of something else. We don't have to we don't have to compete with anybody else. That's the thing. It feels like you're competing with others, especially if you're in business. Feels like you got a competitor. Everybody's doing the same thing. Yeah. He says, he said it, and other people said it before him. See the outcome and then reel that in. He says so many words. See the outcome. Have the consciousness of the outcome firmly in place, the end result firmly in place. Then, as you latch on to that, as you embrace the end result, you're not worried too much. You're leaving out the worry from all the stuff in between. All you know is you keep practicing, you keep doing, you keep performing, you keep learning new things, you keep expanding on what you have. You keep being appreciative of what you have. You keep living in gratitude. You keep living with compassion. You keep doing the right things. You're going to be tested. Many of us have been. Hey, being tested all the time. But I realized sometimes I was testing myself. I was slowing myself down. I didn't have to slow myself down. It's like now that I got a exercise routine, I can break it up into three parts during the day. I can do weights in the morning. I can do the floor exercises, or I can do the floor exercises. I can do the weight in the morning. I can take a break and then go out and walk later. Why? But then I'm charged up. Then I get excited. Then while I'm doing that, I'm having visions. I'm not just dreaming. I'm having visions of the things I can accomplish. Then I'm telling myself, you can do this. How did I get to where I am now? How did I get to be like this? I had a vision. A dream turned into a vision. And in a month's time or less, you're going to see a brand new improved logo sitting up there. Why? Because I got a vision. I'm going from possibility path to reality road. I'm living it differently. I'm open to new ideas and open to try new ideas. I just got to put them into motion. But I got to let myself swim. I can't even swim. I'm afraid of heights, but I'm not afraid of success. I can't swim. However, I can learn how to swim, but I'm in a field where I have to stay afloat. So my question for you today is Earth Day. What are you doing to unearth a new part of you? What are you planning to bring forth inside of you this new self without a doubt in your mind? How much are you willing to love yourself even more so you can see yourself in a whole new way, a whole new light? Just a few things to consider. We all are working through things all the time. As I like to tell my followers on TikTok, I don't have all the answers, but I am present. I'll say it here. I don't have all the answers, but I am present and show up and show up on time. Maybe a few minutes before time, but I don't like to be late. As a child, when it came to dinner, I don't like to be late. Not me. Same thing here. We all have a dream. We all have the right to dream, and we all have a vision, and we have the right to envision something new for ourselves all the time, in every moment. Could be day to day, week to week, month to month, every 10 minutes if we want, every 15 minutes. But we can achieve. This is Wisdom Keys with myself, Brother Francis. Be sure to tune in tomorrow to Swanda at 12 noon with Michelle Vidal with some of the beautiful teachings metaphysically that she brings out, spiritually, you name it, she's got it, and she shares it. Be here at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time every Monday for the whispering moments of mediumship and understanding. I hope I'm saying the title right, from our beautiful sister from the UK that comes in here every Monday at 9 a.m. And that is Audrey Wilson. Every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Donna of Dominion Tarot, who brings you the energy card of the day and gives everybody a one card reading and has a beautiful topic to offer at the same time. I'll be back next Thursday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time with Wisdom Keys, with some more interesting insight for to be shared with all of you. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing. As we're alive and well in the age of remembrance, my grace is your grace. Have a great Earth Day. Enjoy yourselves. Love on yourselves. Love others. And be respectful to others. Well, you all know what to do. Take care now. See you next week. Bye-bye.